What is up? It is Wednesday, and we're gonna make something because I can take over the internet at my house. So here we are. We're gonna do something Carli Lloyd based because she played her last game last night, so it's only appropriate. So I got some bunch of photos I found of her, so we're gonna go ahead and use some of these and make something cool. What are we gonna make? Who knows? But we'll just go in and see if we can make something cool. So let's see here. We got Carli Lloyd there. I think we're gonna have this photo probably at the bottom paired with this one. Trying to figure out what kind of hierarchy we want to have, because I can have these three photos in the back. I can do something with these, you know, something like this, composition wise. So we'll have this up here. Maybe we want her to be, I don't know, maybe we want to use one of these as like, so let me fix this. There we go. So I think what I want to do is I want to use this as like, just like a background. But you like know it's Carli Lloyd. So like take this and we'll just give it like a color overlay of like this red color, but at 100%. Something like a silhouette, you know. Let's actually do that with this. Let's put this down here like this, because she does this all the time. So let's take this, give this a color overlay of red. Let's just make it red, red, red. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to tweak this a little bit. Give this a little bit more of a, just sort of fix this mask so it's not so it has a little bit more contrast to it. So we got her hair, but there's no fuzzy areas on it. And we can fix the fuzzy areas. And again, I'm just using a black and white brush set to overlay on the mask. When you paint black, it paints contrasting for the black areas and vice versa for the white. So we'll save that. So when we go back, we've got this nice thing going on here. Hey Ray, so I start with this 2000 by 2500 at 300%, not 300%, at 300 pixels per inch. I just like using 300 pixels per inch, and then I just use 2000 as my small side, and then whatever ratio I am going to create, I'm going to make this for Instagram. So the ratio on Instagram is 4:5. It's the biggest you can post. So I do 4:5. If I were to put this on Twitter, I think 3:4 is the largest. So I'd make this like 1875 by 2500. But I would probably just crop this in a little bit. Okay, so I kind of want to do something with like her in the back here. Let me make a new guide. So Photoshop 2022, honestly, it seems like it ramps up the fans on my computer way more. I don't know why. Could just because it's a new program. But other than that, it's treating me okay. So let's have like this big bursting like energy coming from her here. So everything's going to be like in this big energy burst. Maybe we don't have that overlay. We do this. Let's make a background. And let's do something like this. So we'll have her up here. And we'll fix some of this stuff here. And I'm just trying to figure out compositionally how I want to do this. So let me pull up this. And we're going to duplicate this into a new smart object. And then just delete the layer mask to get natural shadows. Kind of like that. So we'll just probably have some grass down here. Maybe I'll just toss a good old gradient map on top of this. There, it's a Halloween graphic already. So we'll go here. Do one of these. My dog is whining beyond belief. And I do not know why. Might have to go let her out real quick. My wife is at work, so it's just me and Penny today. And I think she's just being super needy. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know what she wants. So talk amongst yourselves real quick. I will be right back. Hello, I'm back. For some reason, Penny is not happy. So we'll do something like this. Energy coming off of her. We've got this down here. I don't know, maybe we make this all red. And we set this to screen, duplicate it. I don't know, set it to overlay. Duplicate it again. Flip it around, set it to multiply. I think that'll work better actually, because I know what I want to do here. It's gonna be a lot of light, so we're gonna do that. Loner360, you're asking how I create such creative compositions. I'm really just trying to set up a hierarchy. Like this, we're gonna have big photo here, little photo here. So your eye sees this, and then it's gonna see these other little side items as well. And that's just how I set things up. You know, creatively, I don't know. I've made a lot of compositions, so I know what I like. I see what other people do, and I try and recreate parts of that composition. Let me give you an example. So the reason I did this was, let me pop this over here. So like Design with Dan made these for the NRL, and he just used this sort of chevron shape. Now, I think this is a good idea, and it like guides your eye in there. So here's a triangle, you know, it's just using a triangle. Just trying to figure out ways to use shapes as clipping masks and stuff like that. So I know Dan did that, and I was like, oh, I want to do something like that too. So we'll do this. So let me toss some editing effects on this front photo. Oops, don't want to convert that to a smart object. I want to create a clipping mask like that. We're going to set the camera raw filter to actually luminosity. So you can set the blending option. I'm going to set it to luminosity, so it looks like that. And I'm then going to duplicate it, put it on top of all of this, and set it to color. So this is the before, after. A lot of contrast added. Color as well. And I usually do this on the main image itself, but I just felt like doing it here. So what are we going to do to this? What I want to do is I want to do a selective color layer. And what I usually do is I usually boost the reds and I boost the yellows, which is going to boost the skin tones. Maybe we'll boost the blues a little bit. on this as well, but I don't want to go too overboard with it. And I'm going to take a red brush, new layer, a red brush like this. So there's grass down here. So I'm just going to hit this and set it to color. And I wonder if I can actually do something that might make this work out even better. So I'm going to put this here. I mean, you can't really tell what that did, so that's fine. Or you can't really tell where it bleeds over. But I'm going to say anything that is red on the underlying layer to blend in. So what that's going to do is it's only going to affect the green, essentially. It's basically going to get it off of her leg a little bit, but I didn't do it completely how I wanted, but that's fine. Let me just paint with a little bit of black. Get rid of that. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so let's save this. Just so we have a saved for a bit. Okay. So one thing I want to do is I want to make this edge here. This is just like a plain not rectangle, triangle, which I don't want. I want it to be cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some brushes. And I use a lot of stuff that like Ethan J design made because it's nice. He has some brushes that I used a lot. He's got these light lines. And I like using these because they allow me to make some cool edges. So what I'm going to do instead, so we're going to get rid of Carli here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically paint along this line. And I zoomed out so you can see the brush because it's so large. But I'm going to paint at the same angle of this line, which is roughly this. Let me choose this red color. I'm going to paint just kind of like that. But I'm going to set it to screen. I'm going to make it smaller. Paint along here. Let me actually set the brush to screen. Oh, I'm at 20%. I don't want to be at 20%. I want to be at 100%. So all I'm doing is I'm taking these sort of light brushes he has. And I'm trimming these down. I'm basically just, let me zoom out because this brush is too big. I'm just painting along on here. And in doing so with a screened brush, is it's just going to make like this big light sort of thing. Sorry, hold on. Let me turn off these notifications. Focus there. Okay, so like I've got these just light beams. Oops. Oh yeah, here we go. So I'm just gonna have these on here, and I can choose white too if I want, but I'm basically just trying to make this area a little bit more dynamic than it is now. So I mean, left and right, this looks cooler. Over here where all this lighting stuff is than the other line on the right. But we're just going to duplicate this layer and then flip it. And then that's going to allow us to have it be the exact same. And I'm using the same red color. You can see this is what it's doing. You know, it's doing something like that. Now I can paint with this like this, or I can paint with it up like this. But I'm just choosing to use it in a more, let me get rid of this guy there. There we go. In a more precise manner to set up some lighting. And I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to set it to white because I really want to blend in this light area. And I haven't used these brushes in a while. I used to use these more often. I used these a lot when I was doing my 365. So I'm going to set this to like 20%. And then I'm going to make a new layer. Actually, no, let's take this other layer, toss it on top of this, set it to like overlay. There we go. So these are kind of cool. So I'm going to group these together. I'm going to name this left light line. Whatever, left light line. Duplicate it, right light line. And then I'll just flip this around. And then have it match up. Like that. And I'm looking in the top right hand corner up here to see where the mask hits and stops. So that's cool. So I'm going to now mask this out, and I'm going to just use the same brush I was using to make it just sharper at the bottom here. And you can actually see, geez, okay. Actually, I need to move this down a little bit because you can see where the line is. I think that's on the spot. So I need to take this, and actually it's this line. And just mask this out. Now I'm using a brush set to screen, so it can't paint that. It can't paint black, so that's a problem. So I need to set it to normal. Set it to normal, and now it will paint normal black. I can mask out the other one. Hold down the shift key and hit the arrow keys to move this around like this. And go like that. Okay, so now let's put Carli back and see what this looks like. So now it looks like this, so that's fine. So let's group these together. We'll just mask out the bottom here, like that. Light lines. So that's good. So I'm trying to determine where my dog went so that she doesn't need anything. No idea. Okay. So this is what we got now compositionally, which is cool. So we're going to use a lot of red, white, and blue just for Team USA and stuff like that. So we'll probably do some cool lighting effects on her. So let's do that now, actually. So I'm going to group these together. Group. Front slide Carli. Carli. And then we're going to group this together. Photo. I'll just group this together. Shadow. Okay. So I'm really going to do some stuff to the photo here. So usually how I do this, if you guys haven't seen this, is I do a negative exposure. I use a color balance based on what we're adding. So we're going to be adding red in to add that to it. And then I do usually 3 curves layers. So I'm just going to duplicate all of these, and we're going to do this all at once. So this is going to be edge, this is going to be the light, and this is going to be the dark. We're going to invert all of these layers. So we're going to take the photo of Carli here, select it, select modify, contract. I'll do 2 pixels for this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to basically make that the layer mask and invert it. Now it doesn't do anything because we haven't touched the curves layer yet. So we need to go to the properties of the curves layer. And we need to brighten up the dark areas like this. Now if I invert this, you can see this is what it's doing. And let's add a little bit of color to this as well. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to hit a button real quick. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add some red to this. So we're going to increase the reds in that area. We're going to take the greens and decrease them a little bit. And I'm using these blocks as sort of a guide. Like that. And I think you can change how this looks. I don't remember. Things are just how they are. So I'm going to invert this layer now. And then that's going to allow me to blend this in a little bit. So basically we're just giving a little bit of a light edge. And we're going to add another one. that's going to be just white. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to add on top of that. It's going to take a layer of white like that. As you can see, this big, nice white layer. We're going to go white. We're going to use the same edge. But actually, I want to use a slightly different edge. I want to use a 1 pixel edge. So we're going to select, modify, contract 1 pixel, and just crop that and invert it. So then it looks like that. And I'm only going to blend this in a teeny bit. And one thing we can do to make this look better is we're just going to take the underlying layer with a blend if and blend anything in up to, I don't know, about 80, 90 to 100. We're going to do the same thing on this edge. It's going to make things look a little bit more natural. Then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to set this to luminosity instead of what we had it at. So this is what we're looking at, which is nice. Now, this light and all this stuff wouldn't hit the bottom of her, so we're going to fix that. We're going to mask that out. So the edge, we need a smaller brush. So I'm holding down the Option and Control key and sliding to the right. And that allows me to do that. My headphones just made a noise, which is weird. Anyway, so I'm going to mask this out on the bottom because she wouldn't have any sort of lighting from the bottom here. So I'm going to get rid of it for both. And that looks much, much better. So she looks like this. That's cool. She's a little dark. So what we need to do is add in some light areas. So the light area is actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so it doesn't affect the bottom end. So I'm going to go to 100 here. And then the darks, I'm going to have it not affect the tops. Now we haven't done anything here yet. So to lighten, I'm going to go up like 3 boxes. For the dark, I'm going to go down 3 boxes. And what we're doing, this is the reverse curves technique. This is what, there's a video that Piximperfect made that explains this technique very well. It's what I've been using for quite some time. But now I can take a light brush and paint back in lightness to add in where she might have this light hit. So I'm going to go along the edges of her arm like this, really hit the edges that are closest to the light source. You know, this would be hit, really her whole body would be hit with light. But I'm just trying to have some of this bleed over to make it the most realistic as it can be. It's like right here on her arm, it would have more than underneath here. So I'm going to paint a lot in here and I paint a lot on the side of her arm. And precisely where I'm placing this, you know, this is from me doing this a couple times. You know, I'm not great or perfect at knowing exactly where to put the light. It's all just from like looking at photography. You know, this would be lit up. Looking and seeing what other people do with sort of the same techniques. I'm gonna really light up her arm, and I might put in separately some like light effects on the edge of her arm here. Let's get on her neck and on her face. Really, I think her face is just too dark, so we need to brighten that back up. What we did essentially at the beginning is we underexposed this so we can go in and balance things back out. So we sort of made things a little bit neutral. And I'm actually going to take away a little bit of the edge on her face and on her teeth because I think it looks a little bit unnatural. But I'm going to go in here and hit some spots on her face with some more light like this. Yeah, and I think the exposure might be a little too much, so I'm just going to go negative 0.75 and bring it back up a little bit because we are going to add some dark areas to this as well. So we're going to darken up some areas, and we're going to mainly darken up spots on the floor or, you know, the ground. And I may be a little more heavy-handed with this with a 40% opacity. Basically down here, and I'm actually going to set both of these to luminosity, which is only going to affect essentially the lightness or darkness of the object. It's not going to be black or white. It's going to maintain a lot of the color in a more natural way. So I'm going to hit some spots I think would have some darkness to it. So if this light theoretically is behind her, then some of these areas in front would be darker. You know, technically, you know, I painted a lot here, but technically this would be darker. And then her jersey as a whole would be darker. And I can just hit some spots on her face to pull some contrast out if I want to as well, which we're going to do here. But I really just want to darken up the front of her jersey. I'm going to set it to 70%. And we're just going to hit some spots like this. So this is what it looks like now. Now I don't think this is great yet. There's a couple things that I don't like about it. So I'm going to take this exposure and I'm actually going to make it not affect the top end areas, because I think it's a little too dark. Let me see my dark areas. Yeah, these are okay. I'm gonna just make this slightly lighter. I think that looks way better, so we're gonna go with that. So that's good. What's up, Gabe? So Gabe, you're asking if I went to school and if I studied graphic design. Yes. I went to Sinclair Community College in Dayton, Ohio for 2 years. I had a scholarship for that, and that was a pretty much design-only program. And so a lot of it was just doing a lot of design classes, unlike something you would see at like a normal university. I did take, you know, some like an English class or a math class, stuff like that. But it was a lot of design work. And then I went to the University of Dayton for a couple years to finish up. So, yes, I went to the University of Dayton. I have a bachelor's degree in visual communication design, which is graphic design. It's all the same. So I'm adding a new layer to this, and I'm going to make this white. And I'm just going to hit with a soft brush some areas. I'm going to set this to screen. I think just some areas might be need a little bit more of this white, kind of like this. I should probably add a little bit of red to this, so we'll add a little bit of red. I've had a lot of people ask about like college and stuff like that, and like, should I go to college and all that jazz, and it's going to depend on the person. You know, I know a couple people that do design work and they have no college education at all, but they're top end of what they do. So I'm always a proponent of you should go to college. Since you're younger and you know what you want to do, it's definitely going to be better. Like, I knew I wanted to do something graphic design since I was like, I don't know, in 7th grade. I was like, I want to do graphic design. I didn't know I wanted to do sports until after college. But still, I was like, I'm going to do graphic design. This is what I want to do. And I'm lucky enough to be in a spot that is what I do now, full time, and it's great. I'm just going to go into this photo here, and I actually want to pop some of the highlights back up. Kind of like that. Because I'm not satisfied with how this is edited. But maybe we can fix that. Let's add another selective color layer. Let's go to the reds. Let's play around. That actually doesn't look too bad. Adding a little bit of black. Just boost it a little bit. There, that's better. So I keep looking down at my cameras in my house to see where my dog is. Because I don't know where she is. I just want to make sure she's not causing a ruckus. Anyway, your freshman studied digital marketing with a minor in comm in self-teaching graphic design through videos. Started Photoshop Illustrator 4 years ago. Yeah, I mean, I didn't go to a college that was like there are art colleges that focus on design, which would be good to go to. There's one locally here, the Modern College of Design is what they're called. They used to be called the School of Advertising Art, but they're a 4-year program that focuses on, I believe, graphic design. But you don't need to go to one of those schools to get good at graphic design. Just depends on how much time you put into it. I mean, I personally learned a ton just doing a 365-day project, which you might have heard me talk about before. So I'm going to get rid of this fringe here. There's a couple different ways we can do that. I can go in here. I can use a black brush. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use the stamp tool. I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. I'm just going to use the stamp tool and go like this. Basically selecting inside parts of her hair to paint in what her hair should look like. Now her hair is very, her hair isn't like super curly and you can't tell what's going on. Her hair has very, it's brushed so you can tell where things are. So you got to be a little bit more careful when you do this compared to if I was doing like Kobe White's hair where it's a little bit more chaotic. We'll just go like this. I'll figure this area out. So there's an area where like her hair, you can see the background. So I got to figure out if I want to just get rid of that or if I want to fake the funk. Let's go like this. See how like it's super dark. We'll see if you can tell in the second. Sorry, we'll see if you can tell in the composition what this looks like. See, like that looks terrible down here. So you want to match the same lightness, or else it's going to look bad. Like you can kind of tell what I did there. So we'll figure out maybe a different way to do this. Let's select this and kind of go up like this. Kind of like this. Hey, what's up, Matthew? So up here, I'm just gonna hit like, do like that. See, like it looks bad. Oh, that looks terrible. Okay, hold on. I want hair that looks like this. I want it to go right here. Let's get rid of that, save, and go back. I want to see what this looks like. See, that looks better. Now I could probably just mask out some of this hair, which I'm probably going to do. So let's turn this layer back on so I can see what I'm doing. With a hard black brush, set to 100%. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a haircut. Just going to get rid of some of these strands I don't think are needed. And I should be doing this. Sorry, I'm gonna group this together and do this because if I go in like that, if I would have painted it back out, I would have affected the original clip, and I don't want to do that. So we're gonna go like this, and we'll just cut this out. Whatever's over here. We'll just clip this, clip this. Just faking it. Here's her hair. This is where her hair goes. We'll just make it look as natural as possible. Now we might have to go and tweak this a couple times to make sure it looks good. And I think I'm just gonna like cut off the top of her head like that because I really don't like how that looks. But I have to do it in such a way that it looks natural. So like that looks okay. Now I think I need to go in and do like this, and then I can go back on the inside and hit X to switch the brushes to white and paint this back in. Now I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna give her that part again, but it's a fake part that I just made, kind of like that. That looks better. Let's just go down here, the black brush, and paint away some of these areas I think are a little troublesome. Kind of like this. Here, here, here. Super sharp. Say, what's up, Christian? Playing the game of where's my dog? I don't know where she is. She's in a blind spot apparently. This is what we got going on. I think it's cool. Let's take this Carli Lloyd in the front. Let me take a look at this color balance. I think it's too much. I'm gonna dive back like that. All right, let me go grab my dog. Hold on. False alarm, she's fine. I just know what camera to bring up now. Let me put this over like that. That's better. Focus on me. Focus, there we go. Alright, so we've got this going on. Yeah, I think she moved. Hold on. Whatever, it's fine. Alright. So this is what we got going on. So we've got some other photos. We've got this photo, which I put this big thing on. So we'll just dumb this down. So now we can have things interacting with these lines. Like we can have people coming in from the side. Maybe we put this behind her. Maybe we don't even want this photo at all, you know. Maybe we want something a little bit more dramatic like this, or this photo. In this photo. I think we should put this photo somewhere. So let's take this big jumping photo. Let's make this larger. And then we want it in front of the lines. I don't know. See, compositionally now I'm confused on what I want to do. I like this here because it interacts with this very well. Maybe we put Carli jumping right here. Compositionally, that makes sense. And then if we have something, then we've got another photo of equal size, like this. You know, going over to the side. Now she's grounded in this, so we might have to figure out how we want to play with that. But we could also put this here. And we're just sort of interacting with the face up here, trying to make something somewhat symmetrical. What's up, Garrett? Midday stream, you know what that means. It means my wife is not home. Okay, let's get rid of these real quick. I like this photo of Carli Lloyd because it's crazy HD. So we're going to edit this photo. Fix her hair a little bit more. Kind of like that. Okay, let's just convert this to a smart object. And let's crazy edit this photo. Ugh, yep. Figured that would destroy everything. Hey, look, it's Henry. And Garrett. Okay, so I need to use the blue fix on this. It's going to fix the blues. But her color has been just completely destroyed. So we need to set this to color and turn off camera raw, like that. So that's a little bit better. But I want to go into the original edits here. So the shadows are up. The shadows don't actually need to be up that much. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of why I don't like how this... That's better. Oh, the hue and saturation layers attached to that? Okay, hold on. Let's go like this and actually clip everything to this. Let's save and go back. Before, after. Man, you can really tell her hair is broken there. Are we going to cover that up? Yeah, we're going to cover that up. Good. Okay, let's hit some selective color buttons. I like adding black and decreasing the opposite color because it adds a lot of vibrance to that. Let's go to the blues, get rid of yellow, add some blue. There we go. Lots of cool stuff going on. Let's make her eyes like super bright and obnoxious because it's always fun to do that. Let's see what it looks like normal. We're gonna make her eyes super white. That actually doesn't look too bad. Are we using a, yeah, we're using a full thing here. Too much? Maybe. I'm gonna duplicate that. Delete the layer mask, invert it. And we're just gonna paint just on the bottoms of her eyes. The opposite of wherever this highlight is. We'll just paint in that highlight and paint in this highlight. Paint, paint. Really accentuate that. So now her eyes just like glow like crazy. Her teeth are pretty damn white, so I don't think we need to affect that. I'm gonna take this curves layer though, and I'm gonna make it so it doesn't affect her pupil. And then actually, I'm gonna hit the edges of her eyes that are a little bit darker. I want to brighten her eyes up, but I want to basically add more contrast. So if there's, you know, she's got some darkness in here, we're gonna do that. Man, her eyes are just like, she's got freaking anime eyes in this. It looks wild. Okay, so they don't look at, so if you look at the color, so the color of her skin here is adjusted because we have a color overlay on top of it. Like that's a known thing that we have going on. So we might want to do the same to the top, just so her skin looks the same all around in every photo. So we'll take this color balance and we'll apply it to this. So actually what I'm going to do is, this is a triangle background. I'm going to group these together and mask to the triangle. Carli's. Okay, so we got that going on. Now we can add stuff to this. So I'm going to do a color balance. But you see if I just add a bunch of red, it makes it look stupid. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna use a selective color layer. And I want the yellows of her skin to be more magenta. Like this. I actually need to dye them down a little bit. I think I need to add a lot more blue. We're going to go to the reds. We're going to add a lot of magenta. Take away cyan, add cyan. Just going to play around and see which one of these buttons does what I want it to. Sort of like that. Then we're going to add other effects to this, so probably a moot point. But this looks better than that one there. So what do we want to add to this? So I'm going to do something with this leaping photo, and then, you know, this photo is good to have. Maybe we can put some text here to help cover up this leg, really. So really, if we get some text and we just add Lloyd. What font do you guys want me to use? You guys give me a font. Give me a good font that I don't use all the time. For now, I'm going to put in here Nutraface Bold, small caps. Because I like it. Yeah, I don't like how that looks, though. Do you want to do something weird with the text? You want me to use Clarendon Wide, made by Benjamin Fox in 1845? I will do that. Clarendon. Let's fact check me. Clarendon font. 1845. Boom. Benjamin Fox. That is what a design degree will get you. Knowledge about fonts. Things you remember. I don't know if I have Clarendon on here, actually. I have super clarendon, whatever that means. So in college, like we have a typography class. In one of our typography classes, a lot of it involved identifying fonts. It's like one of our quizzes was literally sheets on a wall of fonts A through Z, 0 through 9. And the test was, here's a list of just 25 lines. Which font is number 1? Or which font is number 2? And stuff like that. So we had to match fonts, which is actually kind of fun. But now I know what these fonts are. I mean, that's the thing too when you go to school is you learn what other fonts are, different types of fonts and stuff like that, and it helps you understand it. So let's go to Pinterest just to get some inspiration for some stuff. Like, this is cool. Because I don't know where I want to take this graphic next. I have the 2 main components figured out. But after that, I don't know. Like, I like the background here. Stuff going on in the background. It's not plain. A lot of stuff I make has, like, a lot of times has flat backgrounds that I want to improve upon. I like this, whatever that is. Snapchat lens. Let's see here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some stars to this. Now we're going to have a couple stars in the background. Not maintained to here, in front of here. And I did this for a different graphic and I liked how it looked. But we're going to have these stars sort of shooting out. So I'm just going to manipulate them to make it look like they are protruding. And I'll probably put like a blur on them or something like that. But I can just hold down the Option key. Now the Command key to distort them to make them look like they are shooting out. We can add a couple of these. You can never have too many stars. Maybe we put some bigger ones in front and we blur them, you know. We'll just have these like ninja stars coming all over the place. Just flying everywhere. Like this, we'll toss this one in the very front. We'll make this one a lot bigger. Let me get rid of this text for now. Take this, rotate it around, make it smaller, put it like in front of her, you know, I don't know. Just covering up areas. It's like Happy Little Trees with Bob Ross. Stars are everywhere. Let me delete that. Take this star, rotate it, flip it and reverse it. Yeah, sure. So how long did she play? She played 17 years? Put 17 stars. How many years? There's some people ask, what did Carli Lloyd do? If someone knows how many years she played, that would help. Dang. 2004 it looks like. It was 17 years. So we'll see if we can put 17 stars in here. And actually probably what I want to do is anything on this side I want coming at me this way. Anything on this side I want coming this way. So we're actually going to move this over here. Move this over here. Because we want anything to be shooting out from behind her. I don't want light lines. I want this polygon. Which is behind the light lines, but I actually want it in front of the light lines. Are we going to be able to tell? Probably not. Drag this over, flip it and reverse it. make this, I don't know, smaller. I want enough contrast with these stars so they're not overpowering. Like, there's a lot. They're making things a little bit busy right now. But I will figure it out. So what I want to do then, what is this? That's this star up here. Okay, so I want to add... I'm going to add a gradient overlay of this, set to normal. And I'll just tweak the angle a little bit with the opacity, and then the gradient is fine. Oh, it's perceptual, linear, and classic. So they have different... So the perceptual is the new way they're doing gradients, which is interesting because I have black. And it's black down here, actually. If I move it up slightly, you can see it looks like it adds in whatever that color is. Before I did this... Oh, you hear what they did to... What they do to gradient maps, by the way. Hold on, what do they do to gradient maps? They use gradient maps all the time. They're the same. What are you talking about? You just change linear and classic to how they do the gradients. Yeah, but perceptual is so much better. Theoretically, it's just so much better way of doing it. I'm going to add noise to this. So we're going to add some noise. I got to convert it to a smart object. That's fine. I'm going to add 2% noise. And then actually, do I want to add grain instead? Where's grain? Photo grain? Film grain. No, this is going to look terrible. No, we don't want to do that. So then I'm also going to add to each of these a candle light. Color lookup set to, I don't know, 40%. I'm going to add this to all of these. I need to convert these to smart objects. Add noise, color lookup. I could probably put these all in one thing and add these color lookups, but I'll just do it this way. Smart object, add. I didn't copy it. Color noise, color lookup, color lookup. Is this actually even doing anything? So I didn't add the gradient maps to the gradients. Sorry, so I converted it to a smart object after adding the gradient overlay. So it's breaking things. So I need to add the gradient overlay to these two layers as well, like this. And it just adds a lot. So let me add it to this polygon, take this color lookup, add it to this. So basically just making it so it's not pure white. I think it looks a little bit better. I added the gradient overlay, but I did not add the noise. It should have added that, but it didn't. So we'll do that. Here we got that going on. It's right. No, we don't. Oh. It has to be a smart object. Duh. That's my bad. So I'll add noise now because it's a smart object. And we'll go up to the other polygons that are up here. Convert to smart object. Convert to smart object. Convert to smart object. Okay. So I can add the smart filter and the color lookup to all of these. Noise. Noise. Lookup. Lookup. Click, click, there. But I didn't add the gradient to any of these. Hold on. Man, what am I even doing? What are you doing, guy? Did I just add that gradient overlay to one that already had a gradient overlay? I want to add it to this one. Man. This thing just hates me. Set this one up here. Yep, because it doesn't have a gradient overlay. Gradient overlay. So there. Now they have a little bit more dynamic sort of things going on. And then we're going to blur them individually. Filter, blur. We're going to do a path blur. We're going to delete the path blur. And we're going to go... I should have them all like... coming from the center, but we're just going to have them go from wherever they're coming from. We'll do 25%. 25% should be good. We're going to do it to all of these. But I need to specify the path for each one. So I'm going to delete the paths and make new paths like that. Which won't take too long. Filter, blur gallery. It's going to pull up the same blur, delete. Oops. I could make 3D stars, but I think this just works just as well. What's up, Elijah? I thought you were about to tell me that in school you're doing something, but I think you're just saying that you're in school. And you're in the real school because you are here watching me, right? I think that's how it works. Filter, blur gallery. I'll have this one come from here. I'm gonna take this one. I'm actually going to Gaussian blur it real quick, like 15 pixels. And then we'll blur gallery it. Path blur. Delete this silly old path. Oof, there we go. Take this polygon, this is the last one, blur gallery. Delete that, and go like that. So I have these 3D stars, which are kind of cool. So that's good. Let's talk about today's sponsor. We don't have a sponsor today. But if we want a sponsor, well, you can go to Envato and download something from Envato. So let's do that. Now I could go on here. There's probably like 3D stars on here. Star. That I probably could have downloaded that would look cool. Like these. But I didn't do that. Actually, probably would have been a good idea. Look at this. Look at this big bling star. That would actually look kind of cool. If I brightened it up a bit. Put a big star behind her. Maybe get rid of these. You kind of want me to... You kind of make me want to do that now. Let's see how this would look. So download this from envato.com, which is a website I use all the time. So if you guys want to take a look at Envato, there's a link in the description of this video. If you click on that, it'll take you to Envato, and then you can see what they have on there. I use it all the time for these items here, these 3D items. So let's put this 3D star right behind her like this. I don't know, something like this. We can probably put some text there then. I'm actually going to go in. Let's take a look at here. So I don't know what these things are for. This depth. But I've got the selection areas. So I can select every individual thing on here and change it. Or I can do it by material. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, select my magic wand, and select all the purple. And then I'm going to go to the adjustment layers on curves. Now I have a curves layer mask, and I can bump up the brightness of these diamonds. Save, go back, and now they're much brighter, which is great. I can then throw some lens flares on top of this now. Let's do that. Let's open up Bridge and crash my computer, because that's what Bridge is going to do, because Bridge is super boggy. So we'll go to Ethan J's Mega Bundle with some lens flares. And find ones that would look good on diamonds. I think this one would look good. We'll drop that in there. We'll make it super small, but we're going to get rid of this sort of fog by just grabbing a levels layer on top, not selecting the mask, and just going like that. So now it's gone. So we'll convert this actually to a smart object. We'll set this to screen. I'm going to make this super tiny because I'm going to put these all over, just in like random spots. I should put it like here. We'll put a different one there. We'll put one right here behind her. It's just going to make sense. No, just a lot of bling everywhere, pretty much. And we'll brighten up some of these areas too, so it makes sense. Honestly, Henry, I never use libraries. I used to use them all the time at my first job out of college because we did a lot of stuff with... We used it basically for logos and fonts and colors for car dealerships or for car OEMs. I don't use them a lot now. I don't have a good reason why. I do, but it's fine. Just gonna lighten this whole thing up a little bit, and then we're gonna grab a different thing here. I could probably put all of these in like Adobe libraries, which may be why you're asking, but I don't, just because I don't. So that's good, we'll go like that. I need to fix this photo of Carli leaping. If we're gonna use it, I need to select, modify, contract at least 1 pixel. Delete the layer mask. Let's just make a new layer behind her, and let's just make it, I don't know, dark green. Green's a terrible idea. Terrible idea. Let's make it light blue. Hold on. Let's save this and go back and just see how this looks. It's better. You can still see a little bit of stuff. So actually, let me make this white. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the stamp tool like we did before and just select areas that make sense, and we're going to get rid of this red fringe that we have going on here. Usually I just take an area that is going to be the same and just draw outward. Kind of like that. This is Photoshop 2022 that I am using now. Some of the features are really cool, like the... Oh god, look at this. What's happening here? Like some of the neural filters. I can show you guys those real quick, actually. Let me just fix some of this. Like, what is going on here? Ugh, hold on. Let's get rid of whatever that is. Get rid of whatever this is. Paint her arm back in. There we go. That's better. Fixing some of this. This is just bad. This is just negligent. Negligent clipping. See, like I should get up here too. Man, this is a pain. Alright. Ugh, hold on. Soft brush. Soft brush. If you don't use a soft brush, it's gonna look terrible. So this is just white pretty much. So I'm gonna use a brush instead and just select this color and just paint. Paint, 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 paint. Soft brush paint. It's just a big white highlight. You're not gonna know. Or we're gonna paint over it anyway. White, 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 white. White, white, white. There. That's a little bit better. What did I just do? Did I just paint that on the actual thing? I think I just painted that on the actual photo. Which is not good. Because I can't fix it and go back. But it's fine. We'll just assume no one will know. It'll be our little secret. Okay, I'm also going to add an adjustment layer of hue and saturation of green, and I'm going to take all of this green. What's up, Jared? And we're going to get rid of... Ugh. I just want to get rid of the green. Stupid hue and saturation layer. Hue and saturation. Greens. Green, green, green. Get rid of. There. Better. That's better. Save. Okay, let me show you real quick. See if I can show you these neural filters. So let's fake this. We'll see if this works. I don't know if it will. Let me save because this may crash everything. Hopefully it doesn't crash the screen. This stream. So neural filters. This landscape mixer is cool. They've got a bunch of presets in here. So I'm just gonna click on this winter thing and see what it does. So it'll process it, and theoretically it'll make all the grass wintry. I don't know what it's going to do to her. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, Jared, I'm just trying to. I like to use a lot of symmetry in my designs as we lag a bit because this is trying to process. And as you can see, it's super fast. It doesn't take long at all. So there, now it's wintry. It's not great. You know, this is better than you doing it yourself. That's why I tweeted this would be good for a starting point if you wanted to do something. Like I was doing the Ethan J design thing, and I basically, if you use a little bit of add winter to a normal photo, it's gonna kill a lot of the plants, so it's gonna look more dead and more spooky. So that's what I did that with. So let me get rid of that. All right, save this. Do we want the star here? Do we want the star behind her? You know, like, just contemplating life now on how I want to do this. You know, because I can put this here and make it giant and blow it up like this. That doesn't look terrible. It would look cooler if it were in front of the lines, though. Like this. But then if we masked it to be behind her. So it's behind her, but in front of her. So that's what I wanted. That looks good. This lens flare does not look good. Okay. So now we have this thing going on. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of cool. We got to move this guy now. This polygon. Let's group this star. Let's just toss this in front of everything. Okay. So we got a lot of depth going on here. I'm just going to move some of these things around so they're not interfering with some stuff. I think that's pretty decent. Let's move Carli up. I can't move Carli because I have a mask on this. Yep, here on a Wednesday. I can overtake the internet at my house, so I'm doing so. Do you want to set this to screen or overlay? Screen. Mask it down like that. Let's set this to soft light. Nope, not soft light. Screen. But I want this to be just a different blue. Make different blue. There we go. Great. Okay, so we got cool stuff going on. I gotta put text on here somewhere though, you know. This is gonna stay there. This is gonna stay there. I need something here because I need to get rid of. I need to get rid of this. So I need to somehow naturally mask out her legs like this. I could also just have it naturally masked out like that. Like that's a thing I can do. And I want her jumping naturally, but I might also mask out this here, kind of like this, which is where that star would come in handy. But I already got rid of the star. So I'm gonna make these guys in the front actually a little bit bigger. So I don't want them to be the same size as this front Carli because I want there to be more size contrast. So we're going to move these down like this. And then we need to edit these photos. Basically, I want to make sure that these don't interfere with like the light that's shining through here that's making this look really nice. So maybe we don't, I mean, maybe we don't use them. Like, I like this composition, like what's going on. I just need to add to it. So since we don't know what we're going to do, let's add some color lookups because we're going to add them eventually. And I had to re-add all these to my libraries because I'm using Photoshop 2022. So we're going to go through some of these make it pops. I feel like we don't make it to 10. We always choose something else. 10, 11, 12. Let's set these to 50%. I really wish you could cycle through these easier. 11 doesn't look too bad. I kind of like how 11 looks. 13's okay. And what I'm looking for in these is I want to see what it does to the overall composition, the colors. I don't want it to kill, I don't want it to add too much vibrancy and make it oversaturated. But I like how that one looks, so we might use that. These teal and orange ones are going to blow everything out of proportion. It's going to bump the teals and bump the oranges a ton. So I'm going to set this to 25%. And we'll see which one of these I like. If I like any of them at all. Before, after, before, after. That's just a teeny bit. We'll go with that. Let's add another one. Let's add this one. Nope, don't want to add that one. Wait. What's up, Chris? So we'll save this here. Let's have some of these purposefully break the plane of the side. So I don't want anything that's too whenever I have any object on the edge, I don't want it to be too close to the edge without touching it. I want it to either be intentionally touching it or padded away from it. So either want it to be like this, within this sort of pad line, or completely going out of bounds. Because when something's not there, like if I have this right here, like it can look weird. Like this looks kind of okay, but if they're all barely touching there, it can look funky. We got lookups there. Go back to bridge. Let's add some lens overlays to this. So I have some of these I haven't used in a while because I've been using Ethan's a lot. He had to rush a Carli graphic yesterday. Yeah, I'm like, the thing is, like, there's no time limit on this. So like, we could do this for the next 4 hours and I'd be fine with it. But I really just don't, I need to slow down is really what I need to do. I'm so used to doing that too and just like rushing through things. Blow this up like this. Now this is super, super faded and foggy, so we're going to add a levels layer. Get rid of that fogginess. So we've got just a little bit of light coming through on here. Do I have these up and working? No? Okay. Hold on, I should. Here we go. Hopefully they don't all trigger at once. That would be terrible. Oh, I need these to be below the lookups. There we go. That's better. Let's get bridge open again. I don't want to use any of these. Let's go back to Ethan's light leaks. Actually, no, I don't want light leaks. I want lens objects. I like these little guys. This little edge. These little edge graphics are really nice. I think I use those most out of these. Just add a little pop of color to the sides or the bottom. Stretch it out a little bit. Set that to screen. Give this the same levels. Just adds a little bit of something to that. Let's go to my lens dirt that I've downloaded. Grab good old lens dirt number 4. Toss that on top. You know what I should do instead? Let's do this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these stars. So let me see how these are sort of shaped. So these are, they're white. We're gonna make them white. I'm gonna give them a fill of 50. Oh, nope, don't want that. Give it a fill of 50%. I'm gonna give it a stroke. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do, Garrett. We're gonna give it a stroke of white, but we're gonna make it like 35% or like 65%. And we're going to take that and actually make the whole thing 25%. And then we're going to duplicate it and duplicate it and duplicate it and duplicate it. In these spots that there's multiple ones, duplicate it. I already messed up because I should have blurred these beforehand. Because I have to convert them all to smart objects. So hold on, let me delete all these, to be honest. I mean, it took 2 seconds to do, so it'll be fine. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur, convert to smart object. 2 pixels. Okay. Let me toss this here, toss this here, toss this here, toss this here. And I'll just duplicate one every once in a while to make it a little bit more prominent. Like that. Drop some down here. Oops, move that. Didn't want to do that. Toss this, toss this, toss this, toss this, put this here. It's frozen. Gizzard Gary. I think I can just, I think there's a bokeh setting or like a blur setting where I can just select the bokeh though. Hold on, let me look at something. Yeah, I mean I can shape blur it. You can shape blur and it'll blur in that shape. You would just need it to be in that way. Can't show you there, okay. So I think that's good. So let me add a black layer behind this. Black. Okay, so we got that. We'll take these polygons and we'll convert this to a smart object. And we'll blow it up like this. Set this to screen, get rid of this. And then we're going to, this is a smart object, we're gonna Gaussian blur this like 15 pixels. There. So we added a lens dirt, but the lens dirt is a lens dirt we made and it's stars. And I think I just need to make this like 6%. So there. It's barely there. We know it's there. They're covering up too much of her face and making it look weird? No, it's not. Good. That's fun. It's a fun little thing to add. Let's see here. I think I might want to make this have. Oops, I'm gonna lock that. I don't want to touch these. What is this? Polygon? I need to group these together. Or just convert it to a smart object and name it star. Whoop. Okay, let's do that. This is fine here. This polygon. Really doesn't want me to select that polygon. It's actually kind of funny. Okay, I think we're gonna have her name like super short, super small. Get her signature on here. Let's make sure my phone hasn't blown up for some reason, or that no one has sent me work to do, because that would be a problem. Okay, I think we're good. Make sure my dog isn't doing anything crazy. And we'll grab Carli Lloyd's signature and put it on here somewhere. Perfect. Save image to downloads. Someone asked me where I get patch photos for like fake cards. I was like, just go on eBay. Right here. Boom. Autograph. Just select it. See, like this I don't like. See this? This is black and white, but it's not black and white. Because it's barely blue. Now it's black and white. So I need to go up here. Do one of these. That's what you hate. Okay, Garrett. That makes sense then. Like the random default color isn't actually black, which is a problem. Get out of here, star. Okay, so let's go like this. Ugh. Mask this out completely. Mask this out completely. Pull this out, pull this in, pull this out. Let's mask this out a little bit more. And then group this together, set this to screen, the autograph. Oh, that's nice. The Players Tribune, yeah. That would make sense. So I'm just gonna have her little signature. I'm trying to think of what I want to do. Cause like I might have some stats here and then like her name over here or something like that. I really don't know. Let's put that star back. Let's get rid of this star for now. Stupid polygon. Let's get rid of that. So you've got stars up top, so that's fine. Autograph. Is that moving around? Okay, so I need to just get a little bit around this. Mask this out a little bit better. Yeah, it's convenient when like people who work for teams can be like, "Hi, we need your signature for this thing. Give us your signature, please." Okay, thank you. Okay, let's pop back to Pinterest. Find some inspiration for what we want to do with the rest of this. Mainly with the text. How do we want the text displayed? So the overall vibe of this is clean with light. So like doing something with a lot of paper texture wouldn't make sense. So I don't want to do that. And I don't want to do the standard black box with white text on it. Even though it works and it looks nice. You know, I kind of want to do something like this, maybe just with her name. You know, gotta love what Tony did here with the name being all super dynamic with all these other sketchy collagey things. It's really nice. We could do something like this where it's inverted. Let's just type in Carli Lloyd with our super Clarendon. See if I spelled anything correctly. So we're gonna make this black. We're gonna make the top smaller. We're gonna make her name smaller than this. So this is what we're gonna do. It's gonna look like this. And the autograph is gonna play into it somehow. We'll put the autograph up here for now. Hmm. How do we want to do this? This is where a lot of time can get taken up. Being like, where do we want to put what? And how do we want to do putting what? I do like this sort of the edge of this. It's a slight paper altered edge for things like this. It's nice. You guys have any suggestions on how you think we should do the font? So I paused the Patreon and kind of stopped it because I wasn't focusing enough attention on it. And I felt guilty about that. And I just wasn't providing enough, as much content as I wanted. So that right now is in limbo and paused. And sort of does not exist technically if you go to it at this moment. Let's do this. Garrett ate this font. I don't want to use this font. I also don't want to use just like tungsten or druck, stuff like that. Yeah, Chris, I saw that too. I've seen that graphic before. This Patrick Mahomes graphic, not Mahomes, which is not great. Let's do this. Let's see if I can do something real quick. Hate this. Give me a sec. So I'm going to Adobe's website to sign in to get fonts. Shoot. Hold on. Okay. So here's Adobe. Oh gosh, here's Adobe's font. Font.adobe.com. So I did something where someone's hit for the cycle. Let's type in Carli Lloyd. Carli Lloyd. Maybe we do lowercase. Lowercase is fun. So I always like to sort by newest. And this just gives me all of the newest fonts that they have uploaded. So this is going to give us uppercase and lowercase of how I want. Now I could filter, but I don't want to filter right now because I just want to see what they have in here to see what kind of vibe I can get. Like this is a fun little vibe going on here. Some of these are good, some of these aren't as good. This is nice. I like this for something, not for this, but I do like that. This is nice. This would be good for a little futuristic sort of who's a what's it. I like that. I usually like condensed fonts that are bold. Like this is nice, but like I don't like that. Like that's weird. This is just really nice. And then we're getting into the random crazy fonts like this. Are we sorted by anything? No, we have no filters on. Okay. I think a lot of these are Asian fonts, as you can see. They're all by Tencent Type. So maybe they just got put onto Adobe fonts. Here we go. Here's some different ones. I think I like this. Glow Dock. Let's view this. Let's add this font. Let's see what this looks like. Wait for it to load. Glow. Here we go. There it is. Glow Dock display. Let's get rid of her first name. Just do her last name. You know what we should do, guys? You know what we should do to this? I think you know what we should do to this. Who's gonna say it? Let's put this behind her. Put her name on top of this. You guys think of what I'm thinking? Obviously not. Where are all of these? Okay, let's try.